Well, certainly excited for this one. I know you guys have been thinking about this one for a long time, and now we finally can focus on it as well. I mean, Penn State is extremely talented team. They do it well in all three phases. Coach Franklin runs a great organization, and they present a ton of challenges. I've said it before, but defensively, there's multiple and disruptive as anybody will play. They got great edge play. Denai Denison is one of the better defensive edge players in the league and in the nation. They've got good play in the back end as well. They do a great job overlapping and have a lot of variety of schemes. Offensively, they're really tough to prepare for because they're moving almost every play. So it just presents a really challenge, just the shifts and movements and motions that they do, and have great running backs. Good quarterback, and their wide receiver play is really stands out this year. They have some speed on the field, and then special teams are really sound. So I'm excited for that environment. It's one that I haven't been to before, but I've heard a lot about.
Here on the right, Zach.
Bill Lorig obviously knows a lot about the whiteout. I think that Drew actually experienced one as a GA at Ohio State too. I don't know if any other coaches have, but what have those two been able to do as far as helping you get prepared for that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, we've played in good environments before. They've described it as it's a good one, right? And that's part of what makes college football fun is it's a real one to get to go play in. Like, we've got a great atmosphere here. It's been an asset for us. I'm sure they're counting on it being an asset for them. But again, play the game, not the occasion.
Here on the left, James.
To kind of follow that, then we've seen you certainly steer into the road environment, be it both at Michigan and Wisconsin last year with jump around. Just how much will you be playing Mo Bamba this week in preparation for what will likely be?
It'll play a couple times. We'll be do everything we can to be prepared for that environment for sure.
On the left, Eric.
I don't love that song.
Drew Arler's kind of one of the few constants in that pass game with what they've lost, but they've replaced it, kind of like you said, with some speed. What stands out on film with what they've added there, especially at receiver?
Yeah, I mean, they have some guys that can stretch the field. They run good routes, and the quarterback can make all the throws. He's got a big arm. They throw more intermediate passing game and shot game than we've really seen, and that's one of the great compliments to their run game. Is what they're able to build off of that run game with shots down the field. So they have the guys that can go get it. They have the guy that can go throw it.
Here on the right.
How do you balance understanding what this team was last year when you guys got to go play in the Big Ten championship game and looking at, hey, we have a different team now, they have a different team now, and looking at them like that?
Yeah, just that. You assess what was good and bad from last season. You recognize where they've changed and what they've adjusted, knowing they've made some changes. They have different personnel in some spots, and then, same with us, but it's a combination of both.
Matt, on the left.
They brought in Jim Knowles from Ohio State, and you played them obviously twice last year. What are the differences, similarities that maybe he brought over from Ohio State, and kind of your thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of scheme variation, which he had, at Ohio State, but it's a lot of the similar scheme that they carried at Ohio State, and he always has a new wrinkle. Every week you see something new that you haven't necessarily seen on film that he's able to pull from, that he thinks defends you well, and that's always going to present a good challenge.
Right here on the left.
Yeah, Coach, a couple of Penn State's opponents, particularly FIU, was able to have some success defensively on them, particularly on third and fourth down. I think they forced 3 turnovers on downs and 1 punt in the first half. Is that something you're looking at, and do you see any opportunity there to be able to build on what they were able to do on those key third and fourth down plays?
Yeah, we're certainly looking at all film we have access to and everything that we've been able to watch. Each one of those teams is different than us, schematically a little bit different than us. They'll probably attack us differently than they attack them, but looking at every bit of film that we can watch.
Back right, Aaron.
What is the most challenging part about just their run game between Allen and Singleton?
Yeah, I mean, it's multiple. It's not like you can say, okay, all the point of attacks are here, right? It's in different directions, and those guys are really good at sticking their foot in the ground and getting vertical. They're both different runners. 10 hits it and builds the speed quick. 13, I mean, he's playing as good as anybody right now. He's got great vision, he's got good patience, and he's able to get vertical as well. So they've got great O-line up front blocking for him. They get hats on hats. They play a physical brand, but it's tough because of the variety of scheme.
All right, Zach.
You guys have done a lot of rotating throughout the field and mostly on defense too, but I'm sure a lot of that is to see what you guys have, and also you have a lot of above-the-line players. How much do you think that's going to restrict now that the competition raises?
No, I think the strength of numbers is going to be a huge asset for us as we go throughout the season. And again, how many people you see, what you see is going to be based on performance throughout practice and what that looks like. But if we have guys that can play winning football, we're going to utilize them, and that's going to pay off in the long run for us.
On the left, John.
When Aller is a guy with a big arm who likes to push the ball downfield and into those intermediate areas, how much are you guys trying to take advantage of that aggression and have ball production in the secondary?
Well, ball production is something we always emphasize, right? But it's important to be sound at the same time. You can't take crazy risks and not put yourself in position to make plays. But yeah, when the ball's in the air, we want to be able to attack it. We've done that well so far this season.
James.
For as much as you and Tosh emphasize run defense all offseason, Dan, how much was the title game last year and the 292 on the ground?
297, I think.
Nice, even better. How much was that a focus, short term, long term, because it was such a statistical outlier for what you've ever allowed?
Yeah, part of it became, was played a little bit based on the type of game it became and what we were willing to give up and what we weren't. But ultimately, that's not the standard. You got to play the standard, and we played to the standard. And in several games last year, that was not a game that we played to the standard when it came to our rushing defense. And there's things we could have done better schematically, and then there's things that technically we can be a lot better at as well. So it's certainly been a focus for us. We've seen highlights of us playing really good defense at times, run defense this season. We've seen times when we haven't. So we got to make sure that we put our guys in great position to have success and then do a good job against this rushing attack. You're not going to hold these guys to 0 yards rushing. They're really good, at back. So we have to be able to run the ball effectively on our side of the ball, and we have to be able to stop the run in this game.
Back left, Olivia.
Both you and Coach Franklin put a big emphasis on starting fast. How are you preparing this week so that your team has a better chance of throwing the first punch?
Yeah, it doesn't change. Your preparation doesn't change because it's Penn State, right? That's more of a preparation for what you do every single week, and starting fast is important for us in each game. But certainly matters in games like this, right? When the crowd's involved, that's something that you can attack early. If you start fast, that can be an asset. But there's going to be highs and lows in this game regardless, right? There's going to be plays that they win. There's going to be plays that we win. It's really about the next play. That's the next most important play.
On the left, Matt.
How do you feel like your team has kind of handled the first 4 weeks before this week's game and the mindset that comes with not looking ahead? How do you feel like they did in that?
Yeah, I think our team's had really good focus on what's the task at hand, who's the opponent, what do we need to get prepared for, what's it look like in each game, and in certain ways, I think we've leveled up every single week, and our operation, our standard, our execution, that's got to continue. You look for growth from week 1 to week 4. We're a better team today than we were week 1. We have to keep growing.
On the left, Eric.
I know you've already conveyed respect for Coach Franklin. I'm curious, in having faced off and was a thrilling game last year, kind of what you've come to appreciate just about how he runs a program, runs a team.
Yeah, when you win like he's won, he did it at Vanderbilt. He's done it at Penn State. He's had a lot of success. He's had coordinator changes and still been able to have success. They've adapted with times. I think they're one of the better teams in utilizing the personnel they have. You saw what their attack looked like last year with Tyler Warren. Now what their attack looks like this year with their backs, with their quarterback. Schematically on defense, willingness to change and adapt. I think there's been a lot of variety that he's shown over the years and ability to win.
Back right, Aaron.
Penn State might not have Tyler Warren, but their other tight end, Luke Reynolds, was their top receiver in their last game. Just what have you seen from him, and how has he kind of filled those shoes in their offensive scheme?
Yeah, that's one of the things. You go back even to their offensive coordinator's time at Kansas. He's always done a really good job of utilizing tight ends, right? They've always had a lot of targets. They pop out of the ground. Really complements their run game, the way they use them. So they're always going to be a threat and somebody you have to be alert for.
On the right, Zach.
A couple years ago, you noted that the heat-activated cleats allowed you a coaching advantage. Could you see who was working hard or not? Curious if glow-in-the-dark cleats allow you any advantage coaching.
Yeah, I don't know the advantage. Maybe if the lights go out, right?
On the left, John.
You mentioned Dennis Sutton, but they got a number of guys they'd like to bring off the edge who can get after the quarterback. What goes into preparing your tackles for that mission, and what goes into preparing Dante in terms of being able to set his protections, get extra chips from tight ends, running backs on those edge rushers?
Yeah, all the things you said. You have to expose them to those variety in practice and have game plan stuff that's oriented based on where those guys are at.
James.
How different are they offensively with the 3 transfer receivers than a year ago, where when Warren's not there, but they still have a good tight end, but these 3 receivers are clearly just different?
Yeah, I think more than anything, just the speed. I think you see the speed that shows up, and they've made more plays on contested catches this year than they had in the past. But again, they have the ability to stretch the field.
Here on the right.
Like you said, you haven't been to Penn State. You've been in a couple of these environments in college football that feel like State College. When you're a head coach, how do you develop and how do you learn during those games about how you prepare your team for the next one? Like in terms of like, hey, I went into this game in the big house. I've played at Husky Stadium. I understand how to prepare my team to play in a place like State College.
Yeah, those moments. I mean, those moments prepare you for that, and whether it's crowd noise being involved in practice, things like that. There's a lot of different things that you can utilize, in those moments. Taking away communication with the coach-to-player headset, right? And so you have to operate from a different operation point there. There's a lot of things that you can do in practice to help that.
On the left, Matt.
Today, Franklin talked about how maybe in the last matchup, when you guys had the ball, they didn't have enough. I think he used tools of the belt of matching up man-to-man with you. Can you maybe just explain philosophically like what the challenges are of going zone against what you hope to do on offense?
Yeah, ultimately what I think he's speaking on is, every game you want to say, okay, we got enough reps at these calls versus these plays, right? But sometimes you get in a game and you realize, hey, these calls aren't working, and you want to make sure you have a good plan B. You want to have some other options, and that's hard, right? But are you carrying too much that you didn't get enough reps of, right? Or are you not carrying enough so you don't have enough tools to be able to utilize? So that's always it's always a tough game. It's a catch-22 on what do you want to be able to do to defend certain teams. And sometimes it simplifies you, and then sometimes you carry a lot of variety that you maybe don't get as many practice reps at. But multiple is always tough, and Coach Knowles and Andy both on their side are very multiple, and it makes it tough to defend, and it makes it tough, to be able to attack, offensively. So you want to make sure that on the same note, we have that same variety.
Stand on the left here, John.
Last weekend against Oregon State was your guys' lowest usage of 11 personnel this year, going a lot more big bodies. How much of that was just in terms of game plan, and that's how you thought you were going to be able to beat Oregon State, versus we didn't run the ball well at Northwestern and we need to get heavier and put a little bigger bodies and be able to block out there?
Yeah, it's probably more matchup oriented. Like what we felt like we were going to see. They were a team that played nickel versus 12, right? And, if you're going to have smaller bodies on the field, then, there's times that we will be able to match up in, that with bigger bodies and be able to run the ball.
James.
Dennis Sutton was certainly really productive last year with Carter. When he's now the guy, what has he done differently already these first 3 games when he's at that level like Abdul was and is being productive so far?
Yeah, I think you see relentless effort on film, from him. And he had that before, but you can see a confidence in him that he's going to be the guy that goes and makes the play. And, he's whether it's shots on the ball, whether it's the way he rushes, the way he attacks in the backfield, it really shows up.
On the left, Matt.
Last year, Mateo was playing with 3 other NFL guys along the D-line. How do you feel like he's kind of adjusted, maybe being the focal point of, hey, you got to know where 10 is every single down?
Well, I think before it's all said and done, you'll see some other NFL guys on our defensive line now, right? But I think Mateo's played well. I think last game was one of his best games for us, and that doesn't always equate to necessarily sacks or those opportunities. But rush plan working together well with pass game plan, he's done a good job. And Tatum and Mateo both have kind of been leaders up there as far as setting the fronts, communicating, getting our games executed properly, and what we want to be able to utilize. And the guys inside have done a really good job as well. Amari and Bear really coming along, Tion, Terrence. We've had a variety of guys that we can have out there in the field, Blake, that have all done a really good job for us being able to operate out there.
James.
We saw Noah and Dylan both warming up more pregame this week than the week before. Just how much closer are they to returning? Do you expect them each to be able to play this week?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to have those guys with us. That we probably could have pushed it this past week.
On the left.
You mentioned Tion made the swap in the starting lineup with him and Bear, but I felt like Tion played one of his stronger games. His pad level got a lot better against the run. What have you seen from him this season, and what behind making that move and what he's been able to do?
I mean, it doesn't really matter who runs out for the first game. If you touch the field for us, you're a starter, right? And we need multiple guys that can be able to play inside for us. Tion certainly did some good things. Bear's done some good things, right? To me, it doesn't really matter who's out there for the first snap because we're going to roll. But Tion's proven that he can be a guy that can play winning football for us for sure.
James.
Like you opened in, this was a game that everybody was talking about and focused on, especially when it got announced it was going to be the whiteout and prime time and all the bit. How much in your preseason prep for the first 4 games was to keep the focus in the room now that you're past it, to keep the focus on a week-to-week basis and not have your team think ahead to what everybody knew was eventually going to be here?
Yeah, I think our guys are mature and they've been able to handle that well. That hasn't been mentioned in our program. In my role at times you have to look big picture. You have to look down the road, not just necessarily this game, but a lot of games. But within the week, the prep for our players has been really focused, and they've done a good job of handling that.
I feel like your younger corners have kind of developed. You mentioned earlier that you're not the same team you were week one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in particular their growth from week one to where you are now going to week 5.
Yeah, I think just experience, develops confidence, and confidence is going to, lead to good execution and the ability to take risks at times when it's needed. Tackle well, go make plays on the ball. Like, all those things are going to develop over time. So the more snaps they get, the better they've gotten.
Oh, we have coach.
Thank you.